What's going on, guys? My name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks video, and today I want to discuss again the E-100 changes. Because in the end the E-100 is a German tank and I do feel a little bit obliged to do something for the German community. And well, it was also one of my more or less first-ish tier 10 tanks in the game. And this is why I thought it would be a great idea to now free mark the tank to see how the tank feels now and get a good grasp of this tank before then everything gets changed and maybe this tank becomes incredibly overpowered. But the point of this video is to once again theorize a little bit, see how exactly the E-100 could be after those changes. And I think a good idea would be to quickly go over those changes again. Most importantly is Wargaming decided to give the E-100's stock gun, the 12.8cm gun, which we also know from the E-75 and as well as from the Maus and other tanks, they will get a buff. And it's actually a pretty decent buff in the sense of that not only do you get 40 alpha more from 490 to 530, you also get real time more, so it bumps up the DPM of the 12.8cm gun to almost something around 3k if I was not mistaken. That is a pretty darn decent trade in my opinion, because you are going to lose a little bit when it comes to aim time and accuracy, but you also get a little bit better accuracy on the move. So I personally think this is a very well worth trade and will make this tank in its stock configuration much more convenient to play, and in my opinion even more compatible or competitive, excuse me, that was the word I was looking forward. The 15cm gun, which right now is the one and only gun you should use, got also a buff which is from 2.9 to 2.7 seconds aim time. But most importantly, and this is the other big part of the E-100 buff, that is the changes to its armor model. Most importantly, its turret face. The turret face is considered to be the weakest part of this tank, with it just being 250mm of effective armor at an angle which gives it 288 effective millimeters of armor. 250 is the nominal armor value. And after the buff, apparently this will be around 311, and the turret ring will be around 310 as well. So the turret definitely got a decent buff. And also the weak spot got buffed from 150 to 200. However, I do consider this to be a little bit unnecessary, because we do not need another meta where we have tanks like 279s, chieftains and so on and so forth rolling around with no weak spots whatsoever. This is also the same problem I'm personally having with the IS-4 changes, where they completely removed any weak spots on the turret front. But yeah, in today's video, I really do want to focus on what is going to happen with the 15cm gun and what is going to happen with its armor, because for that I do have a pretty convenient replay I want to show and also talk about. Please keep in mind, everything you will see in the background obviously is me in tryhard mode, aka I am using a decent chunk of premium ammunition, because this is something which I personally came to the conclusion this won't change. As long as premium ammunition will not be reworked as a whole, gold ammo will still be the most superior type of ammunition as the E-100 and against the E-100, and that's how it is. If you want to perform perfectly, if you have a really long reload time, you just want to have every single shot count, and premium rounds in the end, yes, they are in the fact a little bit cheap in that sense, you don't really need to aim for anything, but they give you the opportunity or the ability to not screw up any single shot. But yeah, let's jump into this game. So there we go, we are in a tier 10 only game in the Serene Coast map, and as you can see already preloaded heap, because let's be honest, it's a tier 10 only game. There are a pretty decent chunk of TDs which can have ridiculous amounts of armor. There is a 705A around, there are IS-7s and so on and so forth. And there are 2 artillery pieces, which is obviously a little bit annoying. But yeah, the E-100 in the sense, like, it is the OG. Well, actually the T-30 is the OG heavy tank with 750 alpha. The E-100 is like the real OG because it still is a heavy tank. But now we got 705A with 650 alpha, and we even have tanks like the 60 TP, which have also 750 alpha with 8 degrees of gun depression and a far more sturdier turret. So, as you probably can see when we are looking at the minimap, you will notice that we are pretty darn alone here, which is actually not too bad. We can work with that. We have some backup from 1268, and E4 is playing a little bit aggressive, and here you can see like the big issue in my opinion. Imagine the Object 268 version 4, he doesn't really have a... It has good penetration, don't get me wrong. If I'm not mistaken, it's 295 millimeters of base penetration. But even with us being angled upwards a little bit and using 8 degrees of gun depression, he simply just snapped straight through our turret front. And I am very, very certain that with the changes Wargaming has planned to the turret front, that won't be an issue anymore. I do think that here and there some lucky shots will just penetrate with standard rounds, nevertheless. But I am personally very, very confident to say that with only this buff to the turret front, the Object 2's, the E-100 will become much, much more convenient to play and much better to play and much more fun to play. Also, one thing, I can't show everything in replay, but one thing you will also notice, as soon as you have more frontal armor on your turret, it allows you to angle the turret less strict, meaning that it will be harder for even premium rounds to penetrate when you are angling. You can still see, even though we are not angling super well, in the sense that we can still bounce some shots. Yes, the FV is far, 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 far back, but, you know, looks pretty good. Also for the thing, or for the chat between 12.8 centimeter gun and this 15 centimeter gun, when the buff comes around, I still think the 15 centimeter gun will be the superior choice, just because it has better premium penetration and you have to do less exposure of your turret, because in the end, in a competitive environment, the E-100 turret front will still be weak because it is very, very easily penetrated by heat rounds. And usually, you as the E-100 always want to shoot at the enemy when he is trying to shoot you. Always. You have to being on your reload. That's very, 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 very important to point out. Because if you're not on your when you are not reloaded and you're just peeking, you're basically saying to the enemy, oh, I'm giving you free damage, so take that. One thing you might also notice right here is that I am deciding to play very, very passively. Obviously, you can call this super bad camping. It is very bad for gun mark values. You can see we bounced some damage. Hooray! We didn't do any damage. No. And yeah, we also have to watch out for the 705 right here. You can see he also just smacks straight through our turret. And I also think against the 705A, the E-100 will become much more efficient, because the 705A has 317 millimeters of premium round penetration, and with a turret becoming 311 millimeters of effective armor, that you can see that it will be much, much more harder for the 705A to kill us. Obviously here we did a little bit of a sneaky HE shot, because in the end he was in a hold down cover and we saw he has 200 HP, let's just smack him with HE, because why the hell not? In the end, however, this game wasn't really good for me, because I need around 3.5 or 4k combined to get better in the gun mark, or like raise the gun mark values. And apparently they fixed that the mod actually shows me the correct gun mark values we had. Here, obviously, I was a little bit greedy. I was thinking, oh, this RT is open, he will die immediately. So I tried to do the snapshot, which sadly didn't work out. But yeah, that was my mistake. Obviously, a little bit better aim time will help us with that. The same goes here. You can see the aim time is still pretty long. Unlucky that we hit the tracks. Lucky that we get some damage out of it, so it's not too bad. You can say, Raging, you're a gold noob, that's why you bounced there. But again, why are you do this? This is the second guy, by the way, drowning this game. It made me slightly salty during the live stream. But yeah, what can you do? In the end, here we don't do as aiming and we do a snapshot, and if we gets hit. The question is obviously, do the gun soft stats also count for the 15 centimeter gun? If so, that would be amazing, because I already consider the E-100 having pretty decent accuracy on the move. And yeah, That was convenient. That definitely helped me with the gun mark to be a slightly bit ahead. But yeah, you could see in this game that we received at least 2 shots into our turret front. One was here and one was here. That with the new turret armor would have easily been bounced off. And I think that is that's okay. That's very much okay in my opinion. And I don't really ask for more. So it will be hard to say for sure what the 12.8 will be feeling like and how resilient the E-100 turret front will be when against premium rounds. But I think at the moment it looks pretty decent. It really does look pretty decent. And I think the E-100 will become a fairly okay heavy tank. Once again, I still want to point out, I still disagree that Wargaming wants to buff this from 150 to 200 millimeters. Because, like, a tier 10 vehicle will pen it anyway if it's 150 or 200 millimeters. But a tier 8 vehicle won't. And with a tank which basically don't have 750 alpha, which can 2-shot almost every single heavy in tier 8, I don't know. It's a little bit hard. I don't know. Nevertheless, the E-100 during the grind, it was, for the third mark, was frustrating. Especially when you had to fight against a lot of super conquerors. Because super conquerors, they're like, your turret is so juicy, it's so easy to penetrate when we are just spamming APCRs. I still do think that this will become less of a problem. It still will be a problem, obviously, but you will probably, instead of him shooting twice through your turret while you shoot once, probably only once, because you can angle your turret a little bit better. And obviously APCR has worse normalization than other premium round types, so I don't know. I'm pretty confident that the E-100 buffs will hit home and will make the tank very convenient. And definitely, it's a small buff actually. And I do think that the new buffs to the E75 will make it incredibly strong. Stronger than the E-100. But I do think that the buffs to the E-100 and to its armor especially will be very good. I don't know what you think, guys. Like, I also really don't know what I want to do with this video. Just a little bit to show you what I personally think about the E-100, you know. And I think after free marking it, I 100% agree to buff the third front. But again, let me know in the comment section below what you think about the whole topic. Do you think it is a good idea what Wargaming is doing? Do you think, it's a little bit too much? That's all up to you, really, in the end. If you want, I'll leave a link to the forum post. There aren't any changes so far. It's still as is, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, my name is RagingRaptor. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this video. If you're new to the channel and want to keep up to date with everything World of Tanks related, well, then feel free to subscribe. And if you think I am doing a good job, then yeah, thank you very much. Hope you can stay safe at home. Don't get virused. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great Easter time. Cheers, guys.